Welcome back to Math with me, Marisol Lopez, your second grade math virtual content specialist. Think of me as your teacher's helper. In this video, we will continue learning about shapes being equally divided into halves, thirds, and fourths, or in other words, fractions. What happens when you put those fractions back together? We're going to learn more about that in this video. All right, let's get started. Today we will be answering this question. How can you describe a whole by the number of equal parts? What does whole mean? I'm thinking that whole means one whole object, or in this case, shapes, right? We've been talking about shapes. So one whole shape. In a previous video, we learned that when something is split into two equal parts, that is called halves. You may have done this when sharing a sandwich or a cookie equally with a friend or family member. Did you know that when you put the parts back together, it goes back to being a whole sandwich? A half plus a half equals one whole. In this case, one whole sandwich. And then remember we talked about thirds, right? Thirds is when something, an object or a shape, is cut into three equal parts. When you put those three parts back together, it makes one whole. And lastly, we also learned that fourths is when a shape is equally divided into four equal parts. And when you put those back together, it equals one whole. Let's look at an example from today's lesson. Read the instructions with me. Analyze the shapes below. Identify the shaded area. Use the scribble tool to circle the shape below that has a shaded area that shows one hole. I am noticing that both circles show a line that is partitioning them in half. There's a line down the middle, it's cutting them equally into two parts. But the circle on the left has one part shaded in gray, and the circle on the right has two parts. Two halves are shaded in gray. So I am going to type underneath circle A in the blank the number 1, right? It is showing one half of the circle shaded in gray. This circle, circle B, is showing two halves. So going back to the instructions, it says to use the scribble tool to circle the shape below that has a shaded area that shows one hole. I'm going to the top, selecting the scribble tool, and remember, so these two halves, they're both shaded in. We put them together. Two halves equals one whole. Let's try this example. Read the instructions with me. Analyze the shapes below. Identify the shaded area. Use the scribble tool to circle the shape below that has a shaded area that shows one hole. So again, rectangle number 1 that's on the left, it's divided into three equal parts, but only 1/3 is filled in. So I'm writing the number 1 in the blank. Rectangle number 2 is also equally divided into three parts or thirds, but only 2 of those are shaded in. So I'm going to write 2. I'm going to write 2 in the blank, 2/3. And rectangle number 3 has three equal parts as well. It's divided into thirds. And this one has 3/3 filled in. So I'm going to write the number 3 in the blank. Okay. Now the last part of the instruction said to use the scribble tool to circle the shape that shows one hole. So this whole rectangle is shaded in. All 3/3 or one whole rectangle are shaded in. Let's try one more example from today's lesson. It says, analyze the shapes to the right. What fraction do you need to color so that one whole is shaded? I'm going to give you 15 seconds to analyze the shape, and then we'll compare our responses. All right, time's up. Let's compare our responses. Did you say that you needed to shade in 1/4 of this rectangle because it's divided into fourths? 3/4 are shaded in, but we need to shade in one more fourth to make it one whole. Awesome. How about this circle? It's divided into halves. Only one half is shaded in. We would need to shade in one half in order for it to be one whole circle shaded in. What about this rectangle? Divided into fourths, and 1/4 is shaded in, so that means we would need to shade in 3/4 for the whole rectangle to be shaded. And lastly, this rectangle is divided into thirds. 2/3 are shaded in. We would need to shade in one more third so that the whole rectangle is shaded in. Did you get the same answers as I? Awesome. I agree with you, mathematician. You have been learning a lot about halves, thirds, and fourths. Today we learned that when we put all those parts back together, that equals one whole. Excellent work today, mathematician. Until next time, bye bye.